Hi, this is Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Mummy 2017, specifically Ahmanet, the mummy, and how Ahmanet, a primary female character in the film, is treated in the film, which I do not think she was treated properly. So this video contains major spoilers for Mummy 2017. It contains major spoilers for Wonder Woman 2017. All right. So, specifically, Ahmanet is the mummy, and let's go through the characters real quick. There's 4 primary characters in this film. Ahmanet, the mummy. Jenny Housley. Oh, by the way, Ahmanet is played by Sophia Boutella. Jenny Housley is played by Annabelle Wallace, and she is Annabelle Wallace is playing the archaeologist. And then additionally, there is Nick Morton. Nick Morton is the artifact hunter, played by Tom Cruise. And then there's Sergeant Vale, who is the sidekick, played by Jake Johnson. All right, so let's get into it. So Ahmanet, we are introduced to Ahmanet in the beginning, and we're told her story. She is the Pharaoh's daughter, and she is positioned, because she has no other siblings, she is positioned to be the queen. Okay, the Queen of Egypt as soon as her father passes. Everything's great, right? Well, her father takes another wife, and with that other wife, he has a son. So in one night, Ahmanet goes from being queen of the potential queen of Egypt, to being nothing. She's now she's just going to be another member of the court. Okay. Which she's not cool with. So Ahmanet is a very strong character, and she says, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give up all my power. I'm going to retain my power. So what she does is she turns to the occult. She turns to the occult, and she specifically turns to Set, the god of death. And she says, okay, Set, the god of death, you help me retain my power. You help me retain my position as Queen of Egypt, and here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to kill my father. I'm going to kill the wife he took. I'm going to kill the son that wife had, and then I will kill one more human male with a special ritualized dagger that you have given me. And when I have done that, you will then inhabit that body, the body of that male that I ritually killed, and then we will rule together. You, Set, and me, Ahmanet. Okay. So that's the plan. Right now, I will say right now, I do not prescribe to the whole, oh, there are no villains, there are just misunderstood people. When you kill your father, the wife he took, and a baby, you are now a villain. So Ahmanet is a villain. I get that. And I want to put that out there because we're going to be talking about how the film treats Ahmanet, okay? Now, we've established that Ahmanet is a villain, okay? And now I will say this, I think the movie, I'm not sure the movie actually considered her a villain, right? And we're going to get into that, right? So, all right, so going forward, the movie continues forward, and Nick and Jenny discover Ahmanet's tomb, which that was a great scene, the way they showed. So Ahmanet was put into this super cool sarcophagus. She was mummified alive. I'm not sure you can actually do that, but we'll go with it for the purpose of the movie. It's a horror film. I get it. All right, so she's mummified alive. She's thrown into a sarcophagus. Her sarcophagus is taken all the way to Mesopotamia, buried deep underneath the ground. They build a pool of mercury to submerge her sarcophagus, and then they set up all these jackal dogs around Ahmanet, right? And bury her in the, she's mummified, and they bury her with all the jackal dogs facing inward to keep her imprisoned in this grave prison that they built, okay? Now, all of this happens when, so basically Ahmanet was successful in killing her father, the wife her father took, and the son that wife had, but she was not successful in killing the male to actually, she was not successful in killing the male that she actually put Seth's body into. She was not successful in that, okay? Now, what's the issue there, right? And so what happened there was she was interrupted by the Egyptian people, members of the court who stopped her from completing her plan, okay? So they bury her, and then Nick and Jenny find her, 2,000 years later, whatever the number is, and thousands of years later. And at that point, they bring her up, and then the sarcophagus is put into a plane and is taken to London, okay? Now, the plane crashes over London, and at that point, the mummy is in London, okay? Jenny and Nick begin chasing Ahmanet, and at this point, Ahmanet has come out of her sarcophagus, and she is fully the mummy from the traditional perspective, right? At this point, with her sarcophagus broken open in London, we actually see Ahmanet manifested as the mummy the way you would in a 1940s horror film, right? Where she's shambling and she's just a bag of bones and she has these old dirty bandages on her, right? So what she does is these police find her body. She manifests, she is still alive, essentially. And so she manifests herself and she grabs one of these police officers and kisses them, or uses like a kissing motion to suck their life out of their mouth, right? Take all their essence. And at that point, more meat is put onto the bones of the mummy. The mummy is able to walk faster, shambles less, and resembles more of a human being. So at this point, the movie goes into a series of her doing this to people, where as soon as the mummy encounters a new living person, she sucks the life energy out of them. That thing then becomes a ghoul that she can command, and now she has its energy, and she's manifesting herself back toward being a full human, okay? Now, here's the issue, right? Here's the issue. As soon as you start showing this, okay, that essentially Ahmanet had a plan, and that she was stopped from doing that plan literally by men, okay? It's shown in the film. And then you say, okay, not even death can stop her from completing this plan, right? That she is still continuing to go forward, and that with each new victim that she comes across, she's able to suck their life out of them and become a stronger human being, specifically to complete her goal, all right? And there are no squad goals, there's just #Ahmanet gold, because Ahmanet's by herself, right? So you have this woman. She can turn, ghouls. She can use ghouls to serve her, but she has no friends, okay? And so she's alone in a distant city. She's separated from space and time. But at this point, there is just a train of events that show you that Ahmanet is the strongest female character in this film. So again and again and again, they show you Ahmanet is strong, Ahmanet is strong, Ahmanet is strong, and she's getting stronger continuously, right? So she has a goal, right? #Ahmanet goals. And that goal is kill the right male human, have Seth go into that body, and then whatever land she's in, it doesn't even matter that she's not in Egypt anymore, she's going to rule that land. She's going to be a ruler, right? She's going to be a queen, the way she always intended to be a queen. So Ahmanet, you're shown, again and again, Ahmanet, nothing stops her from getting her goal done, right? Not death, not living opponents, nothing, right? And I have to say, at this point, throughout the film, I really started to really build a likeness for Ahmanet as a character, because she was goal-driven. I'm goal-driven, right? She was strong. I'm strong, right? Right? And, and she's constantly trying to make herself better. I'm trying to do that too. Like, me and Ahmanet are the same person, except I didn't kill my mother, I didn't kill my father, the wife he took, and the child that wife had, right? That's the only difference between me and Ahmanet, right? So, that, and I was just like, wait, this movie has a serious problem. They try to make you like the wrong people, and they try to make you dislike the wrong people, right? So all through the film, they're telling me I should like Nick Morton. Why should I like Nick Morton again? Because the fact that he goes to other countries, steals their valuable historical relics, and sells them on the internet? Is that a reason? The fact that he makes a romantic relationship with a smart, capable, with a smart, academic woman, and then steals from her? There's just absolutely no reason in this film to like Nick Morton. But then continuously they're like, oh, look, here's the mummy. You should dislike her because she's wrapped in dirty bandages. But every single thing about her, other than that, her turning to Set, is admirable things that you would attach to any person. Goal-driven. Constantly trying to self-improve. Strong. A good traveler. All these things are good attributes, right? So they constantly are pointing you to like a character that there's no reason to like, and telling you at the same time to dislike a character that has all of these great attributes that you would traditionally attach to a hero. Oh my goodness. All right, so at this point, not only do they show that she's goal-driven, that she's strong, that she's a good traveler, that she's absolutely determined, right? That the next thing that they show about Ahmanet is that she's incredibly resourceful and innovative, right? So she's in London. So the first thing is the police who have come to secure her body. She sucks their lives out of them, makes their essence useful to her to restore her, and then makes them useful in making them ghoul servants, right? Incredibly resourceful, right? Then she goes and she immediately finds Nick, even though she is in a city that she's never been in before, and there's no scene where she's like, oh, what are all these modern inventions? What's all this? She's just like, bet, I'm here. I'm Ahmanet. Let's do this, man. I'm here to kill somebody and get set into their body. I'm like, holy crap, this, okay. Ahmanet is awesome in this film. Like, it's crazy, right? So, and here, now, that all sounds good until you hear what happens to Ahmanet at the end. That's the problem with this film. That is the number one problem with this film. And it's Jenny Halsey is used so badly in this film that I don't think you can actually recover from this movie and make it reliable or useful. Which is sad, because that definitely makes me sad. So, then she gets into London, right? And she escapes from Prodigium. She escapes from a monster hunting organization like it's nothing. Ahmanet is pure awesome throughout the film, right? So then she's in London and she needs a weapon, and she doesn't have any. Oh, that's another thing. So she gets the ritual dagger, but the ritual dagger doesn't have the stone. Well, who has the stone? The Knights of the Templar have the stone. These old British knights, right? She raises up these old British knights who are buried beneath London, and immediately uses them as her own servants. And I'm like, what? That's crazy, she's just shown again and again, like, people that had gone to steal from her own homeland, she uses their body as her servants, right? So then, in addition to that, you get to the point where you're dealing with Ahmanet, right? And so we continue to go forward. And she's in London, and she's used her goals to try to stop Nick. It hasn't worked, right? So she's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the sands of Egypt, right? Well, she's in the middle of London. There aren't dunes of sand sitting around. Well, she just breaks every glass window in the city of London and brings up and immediately swirls up a sandstorm, right? Brilliant, innovative, smart, right? So everything that Ahmanet does through the film says, okay, here is a woman, a strong, goal-driven woman who is resourceful and innovative and is determined and is a good traveler. But here's the thing. She's a woman, and she's in this movie, right? So because Tom Cruise is in this movie, and because this is a Hollywood, movie that looks like a 1986 movie, we can't have a strong woman in here. I really feel this is, I don't think any Universal Studio executive said this consciously, but man, oh man, did they say it unconsciously. And they made sure that this happened in the film, right? So here's what happened. So at this point, we get to the end, right? And And at this point, Ahmanet has finally got Nick. She's got the ritual dagger. She has the stone, okay? And so we reach a point where she has everything she needs to kill Nick, right? And so she has some physical combat with him and gets to the point where she's like, that's enough. This is going to happen, right? So there's a scuffle between the two of them, and Nick gets the knife, right? Now here's where everything goes wrong for Ahmanet. And this is the #1 wrong move on the part of Universal, where Ahmanet was completely lost as a useful character, and where all the interesting parts about the character that were built up are now lost, okay? So here's what happens. Nick has the dagger, right? And he's like, oh, you're trying to stab me with this and fill me with set? Well, you can't do that. I'm going to smash this stone. Bang. He smashes it on the ground, right? But it doesn't work. It only cracks it, and it's not enough to destroy it. The ritual dagger is still intact, and Ahmanet realizes that if he slams that on the ground one more time, she loses her ability to complete her goal, which is to kill a human male, put Set into that human male, then Set becomes the king and she becomes the queen of wherever she is, right? So here's where we're at, right? So the movie said, so now Nick Morton's like, oh, there's Jenny over there. So Jenny at this point, through the fight with Ahmanet and with Nick, has died, all right? Well, Jenny has died in the skirmish between Jenny and Nick and Ahmanet, okay? So again, the film goes, oh, Nick and Jenny fight Ahmanet. Well, Jenny's a woman, so she dies, but Nick's a strong man, so he lives. The writing on this film was so bad and so stilted and so like it looked like 1986 Cobra. The writers of 1986 Cobra wrote this movie. It's terrible, okay? How it was just, oh man, it frustrated me so much. All right, so here's the issue, okay? So at this point, Nick's alive. He's got the ritual dagger. Ahmanet is there, and she's like, hey, listen, let me do this. Let me kill you. You're going to get filled with Set. I'm going to get, and then your dead girlfriend over there, Jenny, you could raise her then, right? Well, Nick goes, you know what? Nick's looking, and he doesn't say this out loud, but this is what happened in the film. He's like, okay, I got a choice. I could shatter this dagger and I could shatter the dagger and make it so that Jenny never lives, okay? And then I'm gonna have to fight Ahmanet with nothing. Now, honestly, Nick Morton already beat Dr. Jekyll with nothing. So maybe he'll just punch Ahmanet in the face and everything will be fine, according to this film. So ridiculous. So he's like, okay, I can smash this, and then she can't turn anybody into Set, right, including me. Or I could just give her back the dagger. She kills me. I become Set, and then I raise Jenny, right? And then I rule with Ahmanet. Or guess what? I got my own idea. This strong, capable woman, Ahmanet, that I've been fighting through the whole movie to stop and make sure that she never achieves her goal, I could do her goal. I could stab myself, and then I'll become Set. So, and that's what he does. He stabs himself. He becomes Set. He raises Jenny, and then he uses the power of Set. And this is the part that was unforgivable in this movie. This movie made me really like Ahmanet by the end, okay? Which I know that's weird, right? But I had become to like the character Ahmanet because I had seen her as resourceful. And here's what they did with her. They had Tom Cruise become Set, do the goal that he'd been trying to stop Ahmanet through the entire movie, do her goal, and then use the power of Set to suck out all of her life, all of her force, all of her power from this powerful woman into himself. And then, I am not kidding, this made me angry. I was angry in the theater when I saw this. He took all of her energy and power, sucked it into himself, into his new Set body. So now he has the power of a god, and he has stolen all of Ahmanet's powers, stealing again from a woman. He starts the movie, so this movie has Nick Morton, who we're supposed to like, right? And we're supposed to like him not just for this film, but for all the remaining films, right? Which is why this movie cannot function as the start of any dark universe. That has got to be dead now. It cannot go anywhere, because this is a horrendous start for anyone who believes in equality. This movie is completely ridiculous, right? So he takes her, and here's the most unforgivable part. When he has sucked all her energy out, her body is a dry husk that he then spins off away from himself like trash, saying that, and here's what I took away on what the writers were saying. They were saying, if a powerful woman wants to achieve a goal, it's okay that goal is achieved as long as she doesn't achieve it. If a strong male person achieves that, that's okay. That's a fine way to end a movie. It also is saying, if there's a strong female and the male is able to come in and suck up all her power and steal her power and then just cast her off like a piece of trash, that's okay too. That's a fine way to end a movie, and a perfect way to start the new Dark Universe trilogy, or series. They're going to want more than a trilogy, right? And my answer is no. That is not a way to start any story. It is completely unacceptable and completely unfair. And the way this movie talked about Jenny Halsey, the archaeologist, and talked about, actually the way they showed Jenny Halsey as a constant damsel in distress for Nick Morton, and then showed Ahmanet to be a capable, strong woman, and that was an unforgivable sin that had to be punished by her having all of her powers stolen and sucked into the strong male protagonist. That is unforgivable. This movie cannot serve as a foundation for the Dark Universe. It absolutely cannot. The Dark Universe has to stop here and be rebooted. This is a horrendous film that is opposed to equality 100%. I was very, very frustrated by what I saw in that film, and I really give it 0 out of 5 stars, and I am determined that this will be the last Dark Universe film that I will see. I will see none of the others, because this was absolutely horrendous, and I will not reward Universal for making this kind of film. That's my take on it. Thank you.